By the end of it all, Emmerdale's Kim Tate is, honestly, just a woman. She has vast wealth, a huge estate, and has pulled off clever plans that prove she's not someone to cross. Yet whenever she stands before the man she's attracted to, that icy exterior starts to fade. It's strangely relatable. Kim and Graham Foster agreed to call a halt to their rivalry a few weeks back, after Graham admitted he was the one who sent her to hospital. At the time, Kim thought she had simply taken an accidental overdose of painkillers, but in reality, Graham had swapped her medication for a stronger dosage. After that revelation, both of them decided that since each had tried to kill the other, it was best to agree to a truce. Recently, Graham has been spending considerable time with Kyle Winchester after discovering the teenager was behind the barn fires at Emmerdale Farm. Rather than informing Kyle's parents, Graham chose to support him, understanding that the boy was acting out of anger over everything his family had been through this year. He has continued to guide Kyle and even enrolled him in the cadet program. In this evening's episode, Graham met Kyle in the cafe and gave him a watch that once belonged to him. Kyle was clearly moved and taken by surprise. Despite Graham living at home farm and being constantly surrounded by others, he still comes across as quite isolated, and helping Kyle seems to ease that loneliness. Andrew Scarborough previously explained that Graham is essentially grieving the life he never had, after destroying his chances of building a family when he was younger. He added that Graham is constantly carrying that regret, which is reflected in the way he dresses and presents himself. According to him, Graham's clothing and strict routines are part of coping with OCD and PTSD, and his professional life as a fixer and mercenary feeds into that controlled image. He also noted that Graham owns multiple similar suits and uses his appearance as a kind of emotional armor when switching between his work and personal roles. Scarborough further said that Graham is driven by a longing for family connection and sees the fractured Tate family as something he still wants to belong to. He is naturally drawn to helping others, especially younger people like Leo, with whom he previously shared a strong bond. After spending time with Kyle, Graham returned to home farm and briefly updated Kim about the boy. Kim seems to understand that beneath Graham's polished exterior lies someone warm, lonely, and desperate for real connection, even if he appears cold and distant. She told him she would keep what he shared private, but admitted she found the whole situation rather sexy. Graham simply smirked as she walked away. With Rona Goskirk now out of reach for him, tonight's scenes raise the question of whether Graham could end up reconnecting with another of his former partners in the near future. Emmerdale teases ticking time bomb as Carrie gets involved in major scam cover-up. Emmerdale has planted the seeds of a ticking time bomb after Carrie Pollard became entangled in covering up a major scam involving Jai Sharma's son, Archie Breckle, who used artificial intelligence to generate a fake voice that perfectly mimics Caleb and Ruby's estranged daughter, Steph. In tonight's episode, Carrie's partner Jai was away, so Billy stepped in to assist Caleb by trying to bring in new business. Billy impressed Caleb by landing a client, which left Carrie feeling pushed aside. Later, Carrie grew frustrated when Caleb criticized her attitude after she said she needed to leave work to collect Archie. During this time, Caleb received a call from Steph, who said, "Dad, I can't talk long, but I really need your help. Is there any chance you could send me some money?" Trusting the call, Caleb handed Billy his banking password and asked him to quietly transfer £5,000 as a deposit for a London flat, instructing him to keep it secret from Ruby. Elsewhere, Chas and Ruby talked about their families, with Ruby mentioning that Steph was actually in Thailand with her new boyfriend, and that Caleb was unaware because she didn't want to worry him. While Carrie reluctantly returned to work at Farrah's, Archie was seen listening to an AI-generated version of Steph's voice that he had created. After Carrie delivered a costly computer ordered by Archie using Caleb's money, she became suspicious. She later accessed Archie's computer and discovered the AI voice recording of Steph. She also uncovered a copied phone call with the head teacher, prompting her to confront him, saying, "What on earth have you been doing?" A heated argument followed, and Kerry uncovered a fake bank account set up in Steph's name. Archie insisted she shouldn't panic, claiming he had overheard Caleb speaking badly about his father. Archie admitted he couldn't repay the money because he had already spent it, while Kerry insisted she would expose everything, saying, "You've just stolen from my boss while I was on duty, and I am not taking the blame for this too." At work, Caleb continued to undermine Kerry, which led her to stay silent about Archie's scam and walk away. She then told Archie not to return the money, adding, "I want half of it." Now, with Kerry warning Archie that Caleb could lose his job and Archie could end up in a young offender institution if the truth comes out, the question remains, what will Archie do next? Emmerdale fans predict return storyline for Dr. Todd after shock departure. Emmerdale viewers are convinced there is still more to come from Dr. Caitlin Todd after she left the village following the assault of Charity Dingle. Actress Caroline Harker first appeared in the role earlier this year, portraying the intimidating Dr. Caitlin Todd. Her storyline began with her harsh treatment of young trainee doctor Jacob Sugden. Viewers saw her repeatedly undermining Jacob, piling on excessive workloads, and then criticizing him for his performance. Eventually, Jacob grew fed up with her behavior and decided to report her to HR. Although Todd stepped down from her position and entered early retirement, she continued to manipulate Jacob even after moving into the village. She later turned her attention to a new target, Charity Dingle. She also told Charity that she was aware baby Layla is not Sarah and Jacob's child. From that point on, tensions between them escalated as she began demanding money from Charity after learning about her stake in the Woolpack. In a recent episode, Dr. Todd kissed a drunk Charity, who rejected her before falling asleep on the sofa, believing Todd was about to leave. Seeing an empty wine bottle nearby, Todd leaned over her and said, "Wake up. Drunk, disgusting. One too many? Bad girl. You should know better than to lose control." The disturbing assault then took place off-screen implication, with Charity later waking up and realizing what had happened. She pleaded with Todd to stop as she tried to understand the situation. Police later arrived in the village to question Dr. Todd, who was preparing to leave for Sheffield. During questioning, she denied the allegations and claimed everything had been consensual. With insufficient evidence at the time, DS Reed allowed her to leave. When asked if she could provide anything further to support the case, Charity chose not to mention the blackmail. Free to go, Todd left the village to start a new life in Sheffield, as Charity watched her depart, while Manpreet and Vanessa saw her off. Later, Mac found Charity outside and offered her comfort, unaware of the traumatic secret she is now carrying alone. Emmerdale fans are convinced Dr. Caitlin Todd's story isn't finished after she departed the village following the assault on Charity Dingle. Actress Caroline Harker first appeared in Emmerdale earlier this year, taking on the role of the intimidating Dr. Caitlin Todd. Her storyline began with her harsh treatment of trainee doctor Jacob Sugden. Emmerdale continues on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is available to stream on ITVX from 7 a.m.